And we're live. What's going on, everybody? Man, it feels funny having like the kayak paddles back here. I feel like we're about to go on an adventure. We are about to go on an adventure, just a different kind of adventure. I hope you guys are doing awesome. I'm a little tired. I got up pretty early. Electricians came today, and they showed up like an hour earlier than they were supposed to, which I'm not complaining. It's been pretty warm, and it was awesome that they were here, but we got all the electrical rough-in done today. So I think last week I was talking about that I had to trench, and I absolutely despise trenching, but I did get it all done. Basically trenched from outside this wall out this way through here and around the back side of the shed. And this morning the electricians came, basically pulled two 20-amp circuits from the main panel right here, ran it up here, ran it down, put it through conduit, and then did all the rough-in. So tomorrow the inspector comes, and as long as everything passes the initial inspection, then I will be starting. I'm going to order everything for the bottom of the shed, basically probably the bottom of the shed as well as the bottom of the two loft areas, so I can insulate it and then get that covered up, and then hopefully start getting some stuff out of here. The guys basically told me that I don't technically have to cover the top outlets because it's above 8 feet. And so for code, like, I guess it's 8 feet or below. But I am going to cover them first, actually, largely because Steve is the one that brought it to my attention. He said, well, if you don't cover the bottom of the rafters first, then if you ever need to pull a panel off your wall, you're going to have to pull your panels off your rafter and then the wall. So we're going to do rafter and then walls, and then I'll wait on the ceiling because the ceiling's going to require quite a bit more work. But anyways, we are making good progress, and I am happy about that. So I hope everybody is doing awesome. Let's see, we got Tuxedo's here today, Rod's here, Steve Alpha's here, Maurice is in the house, Lord Git's here, David Penley is here. Maurice, I just saw 37 months. That's crazy. Thank you, man. Thank you for all the support. I think I just said Greenbeard, but I'm saying it again. Deanna's here, Lord Git's here, and Hastios was here earlier, Muzin was here earlier, and DaVinci 1.0 was here super early. Hey, Kakafoo. I like your name. So yeah, we are continuing on the UNIMOG build. Steve and I are getting closer to starting our Antithesis Aether Mark 1 build. Steve's got pretty much, I think, most of his parts printed. I'm printing parts, and the main thing we're waiting on is PCBWay. I finally got shipping on all the parts, and I think it will be here by hopefully early next week, so I can get everything to Steve. So I'm hoping like in the next week here, maybe by next week's Wednesday stream, we can maybe have a date set for when we're going to start that collab series. So yeah, we're just waiting on a few final parts, and then once the PCBWay stuff gets here, I need to ship stuff to Steve, and Steve has to ship stuff to me. So probably another, I'd say at least week and a half out. But we are getting closer. This last week was kind of crazy. I think I told everybody I had some medical stuff, so I basically had to fast. I had to fast from Saturday night till Monday morning, largely, outside of clear liquids, and that was not super fun, but not terrible. Everything went fine, but basically I allowed myself to kind of take it easy this weekend because of everything that was going on. And then Monday, from the anesthesia, I just couldn't do a whole lot mentally, even after it was done. Like, I just felt like a little bit brain foggy. I haven't talked to Steve yet about that. I was just thinking about talking to Steve about that, actually, Maurice. I will probably shoot him a message tonight. It's funny, we texted this morning about the Antithesis stuff, but I forgot to ask him about that, so I definitely will. Thank you for the poke on that. But I did get a little bit of stuff done. So on last week's stream, we basically wrapped up this guy, and I think this is kind of where we left off last week. And so since then, I did make some progress on the next axle. This is how much I got done. Steve printed out a couple of these guys to like basically just throw into the drill and work in the gears, and it feels like everything is turning pretty nicely. The only thing I'm noticing is, which is interesting, and I'm curious to see as to whether this gets better or not, is that occasionally it seems like this guy isn't spinning. Like, for the most part, here, let me, like right now I just noticed that it didn't spin at first and then it started spinning. So I don't know why that would be. Everything's pretty tight. So like if I start spinning this, okay, it is spinning fine. Spinning fine, spinning fine. Go the other direction, still spinning fine. So I don't know if it's just like it needs to be worked in a little bit, or what the deal is. Yeah, it seems like it's working fine. It's just like occasionally it's, oh, there we go. Okay, see, it's not spinning. Stop spinning. Now it's spinning again. So I don't know, it's doing it again. Yeah, a little bit of a lag. So I don't know what the deal is with that. I'm kind of hoping it just works itself out. I don't know. I would assume that maybe that has something to do with a little bit of, yeah, it's doing it again. It's not spinning. It's not spinning. Now it's spinning again. I have a feeling it has something to do with a little bit. Hey, Delmar. Yeah, I don't really know. Hold one side and spin the shaft. Hold one side. Got it. So like you're saying don't spin, like hold this so it can't. Yeah, so this side spins. Wait, are you saying it's normal then? Okay, got it. Hard K is saying mine was similar because open. Got it. I don't know much. I said this at the beginning of the stream, but like I am not a car guy. I like cars, I like trucks, but I don't know a whole lot about the internal mechanics of them. So yeah, it seems like it's working just fine now, possibly. So maybe that's all it is. Okay, well, crisis averted then. But yeah, the parts for this were also quite tight. Steve had me swap the multiplier, the extrusion multiplier flow rate. Yeah, see, so if I just hold it like this, it's not spinning, so maybe it's fine. He had me swap the flow rate down from, I think it was at 1.03 was the default, down to 1.0. But these parts were still printed before I made that change, and so I'm curious to see how tolerances change with that slight tweak once we get to the final axle. It takes a path of at least got it. So on one side locks up a little. Okay, that makes sense. Limited slip, solid would spin no matter what. You have the spider gears rotate once before it engages again. Got it. Okay. Well, that makes sense then, because yeah, I was like, I'm not feeling like with the original, like with this guy, I felt quite a bit of resistance before I threw it in the drill and worked it in. But with this guy, it wasn't quite as bad. And so, like, I mean, it feels relatively smooth to me, so I'm hoping everything's fine. But that makes sense. There's great videos on YouTube that illustrate how a differential works. I will try to remember to watch it then. It has been fun assembling this just to see how, I don't know, all the pieces go together and interlock with each other with the gears. And yeah, it's not that I'm not interested. I just haven't ever really been exposed to it. I think I mentioned it, but like I wasn't raised in a house where my dad was a car guy. I think my dad does his own oil changes maybe, but like that's like the extent of what I was exposed to. So finally a birthday stream. Rob, it's your birthday? No way. If you're here for the happy birthday. If you're here for the giveaway, you get to pick how many shuffles we're doing today. Then that is my my rule. So yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. Like I said, I'm doing pretty good. The procedure on Monday went well. It basically seems like I think I already got the biopsy results and everything seems fine. I think I need to wait for probably my primary to get back to me, but the doctor that handled the procedure basically said that she thinks I might just have like maybe like a pretty severe acid reflux, but everything else that was a concern as far as like ulcers, there was no signs of. Like cancer, there was no sign of, which is obviously great. So yeah, it's just been a long week, y'all. So if I'm a little bit out of it today, that is why. Okay, so I did this. This is where I left off. We need to do 2 of these, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's grab the second one. How far along are you now, Heartcake? I feel like last week, well, you were driving. You at least, yeah, you were driving it. a little bit, at least the other day, like a week or two ago. All right, let's go ahead and work this in. Yeah, it's definitely a relief. It's definitely a relief. I mean, it still doesn't solve like the stomach pains and issues I've had for the last 10 years, but at least I know if that's all that it is, then I'm not doing anything necessarily wrong, and I probably just need to be even more mindful of like what I'm eating and drinking. Kind of on a funny note though, yesterday I made a pretty incredible hot sauce. I only had a tiny drop of it because I was like, no, my stomach, I can't. But yeah, I had a lot of jalapenos from the garden that had to get used up, and so I made this hot sauce, and it turned out absolutely insane. Erin was like, she was my tester, she loves spice, and it was like, I wouldn't change anything, which is not. So yeah, this is basically, we gotta talk food, but this is basically everything that went into it. So peppers were from the garden, garlic was from the garden, and then add some fresh cilantro and onion, and then some ground cumin, sugar, salt, vinegar, and I think that was it, and a little bit of water. And so I basically seared the peppers and the garlic and the onion, and then tossed it, or like soaked it all in some water, mixed everything, then used my I cannot think of the name of this blender, where it is not like a blender, but you actually use the thing in the pot. Immersion blender, that's the word. And yeah, the sauce turned out bomb. I'm gonna wait to have it for a couple of weeks to let my stomach kind of heal, but this on some street tacos is gonna be absolutely delicious. So immersion, yeah, I definitely a purchase. A tool for the kitchen I'd never really heard of before, and now that I got one and I've used it a few times for making like tomato sauces and stuff, I'm like, where have you been my whole life? It's just so great. I have most of it done, but it's on hold at the moment while I wait for the new PCB. Of course, you custom. What is it with the new PCB? Like, why? What does it do? All right, let's get some M216s. M216s. Where are you? Where are you? Hold on. I got some screws falling out. I am hoping to have a video out this weekend. I'm making progress on it, but I'm definitely behind with like my normal schedule. So we'll see. It might be another Sunday release like the last one was, but we'll see how much of a Hail Mary I can pull. Had a really hard time. I don't know how I did before having kids. I don't know how I was doing 4 videos a month, like fully edited. I don't know if it's like an age thing, or I'm like, I just don't have the ability to crunch things as much as I could before, or if it's just kids, or if it's me. I don't really know what the deal is, but yeah, I've been struggling to keep up with the schedule I used to have. Let's see, did I miss anything? Looking good. Yeah, it turned out delicious. Thank you. I made a new controller that uses an ESP32. Oh, cool. To have more control over it. Got it. The default, is it... Because the PlayStation controller is basically just Bluetooth, right? So is that the thing, that the default controller just doesn't support Bluetooth? Why does it look like it's slightly out of focus? Let's just zoom out a little bit. There we go. And I control front and rear steering independently. Have full light control over it too, as well as 6 servo. It's crazy. Does the default setup allow for light control? Because like I don't know if I'm gonna do, like, I know with the camper add-on there's like overhead lights, which looks sick. But does the default setup at least give you control of things like headlights, or no? More mental capacity back then? Yeah, maybe that's... Am I doing this wrong? No, this is right. This is right. Yeah, this is fine. Yeah, I don't know. I've been trying to think, like, I started doing the once a week videos. It was like right around the time I got engaged. And we were engaged for 2 years. We've been married for 1, 2, 3, 4 years now. So 6 years ago. So I was like 27. So yeah, I don't know, man. I will say that like the videos have gotten more involved and longer. I think that my average video time was like 7 or 8 minutes, and like it's not uncommon for a lot of my videos now to be anywhere between like 14 and 20 minutes. And so while the quantity of videos might be down, the actual time that goes into scripting, editing, you know, all that stuff, I don't know that it's that much shorter. I'd love to output more, but I just am not willing to sacrifice like I've got standards, and I'm not willing to compromise on them, even if it means that things take a little bit longer. I watched TP Glassfire video this morning. I really want it. It is such a cool filament, Deanna. If you've got a project that you think could benefit from it, I highly recommend it. It prints beautifully. It's really easy to print with. It prints beautifully, looks super nice, and it's just, I mean, it's stiff. It's really stiff, but for something that needs like impact resistance, it's gonna be awesome. And I don't have a good way to test the interlayer adhesion, and I mean, TPU in general has good interlayer adhesion, so I can't swear that it's better. Glass might actually have a slight negative impact on the overall interlayer adhesion, but it's still gonna be really solid compared to a lot of other materials. Hey, Ranch. The quality has increased. Yeah, I'd like to think so, Delmar. I appreciate it. I'd like to think so. I did end up getting in 2 more rolls of PCCF, so I still think the plan is that I will be using, is it electric blue PETG? I think it's electric blue PETG. It's what I'm going to be using for like the main body colors, because I do want some color, but I probably will use PCTG for a lot of the black pieces that I was initially going to do, and just I'm sorry, PCCF for a lot of the stuff that I was really going to use PTG, and I'll just use PTG. I used it for the frame, and I'll likely use it for anything that's going to be an accent color, so blue. For the lights, you need a specific RC controller. Got it. So it doesn't support. I missed. How did I miss? It's via Bluetooth. The default one is standard RC RXTX with only 6 channels. Got it. Okay, let's get this guy in. Landon is turning 1 in the end of the month, which is crazy too. So we're not really doing a whole lot. My parents are going to be still in California, and we reached out to one of our friends that lives out here, but they either have family in town or they're going to be gone. So I think it'll just be the 4 of us, which is basically what it was for Jackson's first birthday. But he's obsessed with Sesame Street. So Aaron got us all Sesame Street t-shirts, and then I think because he's got 2 teeth now and he's starting to eat a lot more stuff, I'm thinking I might try to do something similar to what I did for Jack's first, which was made him this like, it's like a toddler or like a baby, it's a baby cake. I can't really remember all that goes into it, but I know it's like maple syrup, vanilla, extract, like fresh berries and stuff. Jackson did not care for it when he was 1. He looked at it like, what is this disgusting thing, and kind of pushed it away. But Landon seems to be our little foodie, so I kind of want to try again and see if he's more interested in the cake. Okay, I think that's probably good enough. We'll go around one more time. I'm talking, which means that I'm potentially missing screws here. Also, allergies are, as always, awful. I edited professionally for a while. I'm always impressed by YouTuber turning on a 30-minute vid every week whilst working full-time. Yeah, it's, you have to be kind of crazy. I've told people this over the years. Like, I've had so many people are like, man, I really want to make YouTube videos, and I've said it on this live stream a bunch of times, like, I will never turn anyone away from wanting to make YouTube videos. If you want to do it, like, do it. Absolutely. I find it incredibly rewarding and a lot of fun, but I think that expectation and reality often don't align. And like spending a bunch of time working on a video, then instantly like, all right, next, and then doing that over and over and over and over again forever, basically. It's like it's kind of mentally taxing. Like you really have to enjoy it. Hold on, let me check. I just heard it sound like a large truck pull up in front of the house. You have to really enjoy it. Otherwise you will drive yourself absolutely crazy. That is UPS. So let's see. Look up the Tamiya light controller that works with the stock stuff if you want lights. It also works with stock S-tails for the MOG. It's designed with LEDs in mind. Tamiya, okay, I will open up a tab for that. Tamiya lights. Is it this guy? Temporarily out of stock. That feels expensive for a light controller. There's gotta be a cheaper option. What PCC software are you using? I used YX Polyer. It's really cool stuff. I've been using Prusa's. They did send it, so and that was my first experience with it. So I don't have any real. I don't really have any input on alternatives. So I'm sure there's other good stuff out there as well. The blue one is the one I use. It's like $10. Okay, got it. Wait, this guy? No. I don't know if blue is like a company or if this is the one you're talking about, but this is really cheap. Compared to $110, this one. Can you shoot me a link to it in case I do want to order it, HeartK? No rush. I mean, it'll be a while, but that one, wow. A back to school deal is looking pretty good. I might have to order that like now. That's crazy. I'm sure it's not actually that, like with shipping costs or whatever, but a lot cheaper. All right, so let's do this. We did that. Okay, so this part sucked last time I did this. It was very difficult to get. It was very difficult for me to get this aligned. Great. So this is going, let me make sure I do this the correct way. So yeah, we want screws sticking outward. Yeah, this is tight. Last time I basically had to wiggle it back and forth, and then I had to use the screws to pull it in place. So let me start by drilling out all these, or not drilling them out, but reaming these. These actually feel pretty good. I still ream them just because, but it's not nearly as much material coming out. Get at least two of them. I had one of them that broke during testing. Okay, you got it. I've been pretty lucky with controllers, and I'm saying that out loud, and I probably shouldn't, so the universe is gonna be like, oh yeah, but the main controller that I had a lot of issues with back in the day was the Ramps 1.4 controller. I fried a couple of those. Part of it was, I'm sure, user error. I didn't really know what the heck I was doing. But I also think that with the Ramps 1.4, like the quality control was all over the place depending on where you ordered them from. And I think I ordered some from Ali. Is it lagging? It's like the picture's lagging pretty hard for me. Drop frames 3. Yeah, it says drop frames. Interesting. There's definitely some lag going on here. I'm not sure how bad it's looking on your guys' end, but like in my preview, it still just says 3 drop frames, but my hands, like the motion blur, looks like my hands are skipping a little bit. I don't think there's much I can do about it, so hopefully it's fine, but let me know if it gets really bad and I'll have to figure out something. Cool, thank you. Thanks for sending the link, RK. I'll end up getting, sounds like at least 2 of them on order. Okay, so I'm going to do my best to just kind of eyeball this to see if I can get the holes aligned before I start clamping it down. Yeah, it's super tight. I almost wonder if I should be... It is very tight. I can't remember on the last one if I just used my hands or if I ended up using the workbench. It's clicking into place. Make sure my holes, yeah, holes look like they're aligned enough where I can probably get this going. I thought the drop frames, there's some lagging, yeah. It seems better now. Like I'm looking, it looks a lot better. Like, sorry about the weird hand movements, but like I'm looking at my hands and I don't see the same blur that was going on. I feel like I'm casting a spell, but. Okay, that's as far as I think I can get it. So I'm curious as to whether I will be lucky and once I start screwing these in, if it will just pull itself into place or whether I'm gonna run into problems. Let's find out. Back to normal. Okay, yeah, I don't know what happened. Okay, so we need M212s. Let's see how this goes. Everyone keep your fingers crossed. But yeah, this is something that I'm hoping that with the newer parts for the final one where I slowly lowered the, wait, hold on. These are not the right screw sizes. That you're too big. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, let's see if this works. Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised on the first one that like the screws just kind of pulled it all down. Well, not like that. Yeah, it is going down. Oh God. Yeah, I goofed a little bit. I did it came with like this calibration test thing, and I ran it for PETG, and I didn't run it for PCCF, which was a definite oversight on my part. The PCCF is, because that's what I'm primarily using, is more important that I would have ran it for, especially with the sort of rough texture on it. I think that the tolerances are even more important. So hopefully everything works out. It seems like everything has been okay, especially after working it in a little bit, but I probably would have saved myself a little bit of pain by spending the time to dial in the profile. Oops. Beforehand. So yeah, it looks like it's dropping in. It's dropping in fine. So I'm just going to shove all these in. Also, for anybody that saw the survey I did on the main channel, it looks like we are going to be moving forward with the Makera Z1 Pro. They sent me, I emailed them after getting the responses. Like 83% of the replies were like, yeah, I know, I'm interested in seeing your take on it. So I emailed them last night and got a response this morning, and so they sent me a form they want me to fill out, but we'll very likely be doing a live stream on this channel, just kind of getting out of the box, and we'll do like the whole unboxing setup thing and then run a first job, and then we'll do a full review on the main channel. And my primary interest is going to be using it to machine aluminum. I've got, with like Milmage at work and just prior experience, like I've used CNCs for at least woods and plastics, but I've never used any sort of CNC for any kind of metal. So I would love to be able to use it for aluminum. And so that's what my primary focal point will be. Like, other than going over the machine, the specs and the workflow is how it handles aluminum. Hey, nice. We got the electricity done this morning, the electrical. The rough-in is done for the shed. So now I need to figure out how to insulate. I've watched a bunch of videos. I decided I'm going with rock wool for the insulation. It's not the cheapest, but I like everything I've seen about it. People seem to just really like working with rock wool. I think it's got some like built-in, something about it is flame resistant. It's also, I think, mold resistant. It seems like it cuts really nicely, and I like what I've seen. So we're gonna do rock wool, and then I was gonna do OSB. I'm not doing OSB anymore. I'm gonna do some kind of a ply, but it will be probably a cheap ply. It won't be like this grade ply. It'll be, because like I think that going with this would be like 4 times the price of OSB. And so the stuff I was looking at is like twice the price of OSB, so it's definitely still more. But I know it's a shed, but I just really don't love the look of OSB. I just don't. Yeah, thank goodness. Well, I do need to trench a little bit more. I need to run sprinkler wire, but the sprinkler wire doesn't have, like, there's no depth that needs to go. So I'm going to piggyback it in the trench that I've already dug. And so I'll probably need to dig an additional, I don't know, 20 feet, but it's only going to be a couple inches down. I'm not going more than like 3 inches down, just so that way I'm not tripping on the thing. And it'll be a lot easier. I'm pretty tempted to get a pick. I think that's what everyone is recommending me, was to getting a pick, because I think that would work really well for breaking up some of the hard soil to get a few inches down, but we'll see. I might just use what I've got. Probably should have gone a little harder with the electric screwdriver here. This is not super fun on the wrist. Okay, I think we're gonna leave it like this. As I keep going. Yeah, that's good. Okay, that feels good. Let's make sure we're still spinning. Yeah, we sure are. I've done a lot of cabinets with that ply. Wait, which ply? The, like this ply, or the one that's like a step below this? Will you be using MillMage for the CNC? So I would like to. I think I'll be using their CAD/CAM at least a bit, just to kind of see what it's like. And especially for if there's parts that are 3D, I'm curious to see, because MillMage doesn't do 3D. It's like 2 and 2.5D. I asked my team just the other day if it supports, like, what the support level is for the Z1, and I think I was told that I might be quoting this wrong, that they've made, like, the Makara's made some tweaks to the firmware, which has done some wonky stuff. So hopefully, you know, they get it working with it. I just don't know if we have a Z1. I don't know if any of our devs have a Z1. I'm happy to provide feedback from my team if they need it, but so we'll see. I guess we'll see. I'd like to at least experiment with seeing what it's like to use it with it, at the very least. Okay, so next we've got one of these little cap pieces and an M216. That is going up top here. Drill through this. Okay, M216, 16. Cabinet grade ply. Interesting. If you don't mind, Tuxedo, send me something on it. The ply I was looking at, I'll try to show you guys actually real quick. So Home Depot. I think I'm looking at roughly 1/2 inch. It seems like I was gonna go with, I think, 7/16 for OSB. So I think that's what I'm likely going to be doing for this. But if I go, let's see, 4 by 8 ply. Let me see if I can find. Is this what I was looking at? So yeah, OSB, we're looking at 11.98 per sheet, and the stuff I was looking at was roughly double. I think sheathing plywood might have been what I was looking at. Maybe not. I don't know. That's a really horrible picture. Is there? Wait, no. That looks more like what I was looking at. But that is sheathing plywood. I don't know why this motor always broke. What motor? Controller just got a Z1 Pro, so they are finally getting to Kickstarter. Oh, nice. I'm really curious to see what he thinks, because he has CNC experience, right? I know he's got laser experience. I can't remember if he's got prior CNC. Yeah, no, he has to, right? Because he was making custom motor mounts that were aluminum, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I'd love to get his thoughts on it. Yeah, I think this is what I'm thinking about getting. Getting a little frustrated with this printer. What printer? Nice. Reminder trade sizes? Trades? What is that? What is that in regarding, Domar? What's going over my head right now? Hey, Benny! Use OSB for the shed, no sensor pane cabinet ply for a shed. Yeah, I want to use something other than OSB, I think. It's for inside. Yeah, this is for inside walls, exactly. And I don't think I'm gonna paint, and that's why like I'm leaning it towards this versus this. Like I get that the price is definitely more, but the reality is like the shed was pretty dang expensive. Like we went with concrete for the foundation, and like it's just the cost difference that this would add, while it is an increase in price, like it's not like I won't think too hard on it. I don't want to pay 4 times the price or 5 times the price. To me, that's crazy. Like this is I think what I usually buy when I'm doing like carts and stuff like that. And this is I think what I use for my fish tank stand. But to like do something like this, I certainly wouldn't be opposed to it. And it seems like Aaron also was like, yeah, no, I'd rather have that. 1532 is good. Yeah, I'll look more into this stuff. Like this is probably what I'll end up using, which is definitely not fancy plywood by any means, but it is, that looks horrible, some of the pieces. But to be fair, like the reviews are always going to be people complaining about it, so I'll do some more digging, I guess. Regular construction ply, it's 1/2 inch for all intensive purposes. Got it. When you look at wood sizes, they may say 1/2 inch, but be smaller. Got it. Okay. I broke my Magneto X again. Oh no. Yeah, I'll let you guys know what I'm gonna go with, but I think this is probably gonna be it. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, back to the build. Yes, we're doing the cap, and that was this guy. It's the linear motors. Is this piece supposed to stick out a little bit, or am I? Sure seems like it. That's as far as that's going in. They're 1/2 inch. Yeah, the 2x4 thing. I went pretty far in my life thinking 2x4s were 2x4s. I'd never had to work with 2x4s really until, and I learned quickly that it's actually not exactly 2x4. I need to buy a new linear motor every 200 hours. What is failing on it? Like, what is it? If it's the same thing, like, what is it? Repeat the same thing for the other side. Okay, so we are basically going to go backwards. We're going to go backwards. So if we got to here, it says repeat it for the other side. So we're going to go back to... I think this is where we're at. Yeah, okay. So let's grab this guy. That is not the right piece. This is the right piece, I believe. Can zoom in a little more, I suppose. They used to, oh, they at one point they actually were. So they can get more 2x4s out of a tree. It feels like they should have to change the name from 2x4s. Like it's very misleading for anybody that doesn't work with construction or 2x4s. That is not obvious. I would say that you could probably take a survey from people that haven't worked with them, and if you ask them what size is a 2x4, they would tell you 2x4, because why would you call it that? The motor is swelling up and gets stuck on the axis. Interesting. Is it the magnets, or no? It's the actual like motor portion that's on the piece that's moving, like on the gantry piece. Also, have they not, like, if it's happened multiple times, have they not had another solution or something you could try? Okay, so we need M220s. 5 of them. Here we go. My former house was built in the 1930s, and it had real rough 2x4s. 3, 4, 5. All right. So this needs to go like this. Did Turtle go with the Pro version, Delmar, on the Z1? I couldn't remember if you said Pro or not. The main difference, or the only differences, as far as I could tell, is that the Pro model has closed loop steppers, which from their demo looks pretty sweet. Basically, if it skips a step, or notices that it skipped a step, it basically pauses the job, I think, if you're using their software, so that way you can adjust your feeds and speeds to be less aggressive instead of just basically having a shift and losing the job. And like, that's pretty freaking cool. And then I know that the regular Z1 uses like Acme lead screws, while the Pro version is using ball screws. Kanafu! Thanks, I hope that doesn't happen, but thank you for the donation. Band-aids for when you drill a hole in your finger. This is luckily a reamer. I think if it was a drill, I'd be a lot less inclined to keep my finger on the other end. And the only reason why I'm doing that with my finger on the other end is when Steve was here 2 weeks ago, I reamed at an angle because I wasn't holding my finger, like, I wasn't holding it straight, and I reamed at an angle. So by having my finger behind it, like, it's making it easier to ream forward. But yeah, not probably the best hand placement. I can agree with that. And then, oh, Bearded! Bearded with a membership. Thank you so much, man. Let's do a squirrel. Thank you, man. How are things going with you? All right, where's my, here we go. They sort of did that here too. All studs were not evenly spaced at 16. 100 years ago, 2x4 was rough and full size. My house was built in mid-80s, and they're all got it. So they weren't exactly 2x4s then. Hasios with the 16 months, man. Thank you, buddy. Let's see, what do we got? I need some more sound effects, man. We'll do air horn and a Dugan. I need some more sound effects. I'm gonna add that to my to-do list. I don't know what I want, but I'll think of something. Okay, these are mostly in. That one is too far in. All right, let's hand tight and switch to hand tight. I've also got some, like, I think they're small hairs. I don't know if they're my hairs or my dog or just because we're in the garage, but I don't like leaving these parts that are greased open because there's a fly on me. Attract hair. Tweezers. Do we have tweezers? Ideally, I'd like to pull this piece of hair out. I sure don't see tweezers. See if I can just cut it. Oh, that is a big, that's a big piece of hair. All right, if anything goes wrong, we'll blame it on the hair. Good thing we're covering this now. Yeah, that guy is definitely loose. Had a few, that one's not super, yeah. Had a couple, I think it's the heat, even with PCCF and how fast the screwdriver is going and me using grease, some of these parts, but hopefully because it's plastic, they at least won't back themselves out. That's my kind of main concern. Hey, Luke. Could be mouse. Dude, this mouse, this must be like a real furry mouse. I mean, there's a long hair for mouse. I'm printing a hot for long periods, thinking more and more for this printer should not. Oh, interesting. Do you think it's the heat that could be causing the expansion and causing the binding? That's, I mean, that would potentially make sense to me for sure. Rod with the 5 gift memberships, man. Yeah, squirrel for sure. Cheers. Thank you so much, man. Roger got one. Mr. O UK got one. Isaiah got one. Nope. Yep, that is Cast got one, and Rompy got one. Thank you, Rod. Okay, this is on. Next, we are putting bearings on. I had a rough time I had a really rough time getting these bearings on the other side. We'll see how this goes. This guy is piece of cake. It's this one where it just doesn't want to seat. I'm actually thinking I might do things differently this time. I might get the bearings on this piece first and then do inserting onto the shaft. So let's start by reaming these out. How's your build going, Luke? I saw I think it was on Twitter, or I'm always gonna call it Twitter, but on X, that it looks like you made really good progress on the camper shell. Okay, so this looks good. So let's see if we can somehow press these bearings into here. I might just need to use my Knipex pliers. Let's see if I use the back of a driver. Let me get this guy in. That went in way easier than I feel like it should have. Nice, thank you so much for the donation. Smash the thumbs up. Yes, I have not been good at checking that or reminding people. If you have not hit the like button, please do so. Okay, that one seems like it went in fine. I doubt this one's probably gonna put up a fight. Yeah. God, there's a lot of... Get in there, buddy. Oh, it went in. It went in. Okay, so now let's see if we can get them to sit on the slide onto the shaft. It might be a similar thing where I kind of have to wiggle it and then pull it in with the screws. But yeah, it goes like this. Maybe. Yeah. You guys, I know you guys can't see what I'm doing. I'll change camera angle. It's basically just me struggling. Yes, that was way easier than... That was definitely the play. On the other side, I put the bearings on the shaft the first time before putting it on this end piece, and it was a nightmare trying to get it on. So by putting them in this part first, it made it a lot easier. So yeah, we're spinning. I don't feel any sort of additional tension. That was awesome. Okay, I'm really quite pleased about that. Hey LTX, how you doing? The MOG is running with the flatbed now. I just finished the overland camper this morning. I just need to mount the roof racks and accessories and swap the camper onto the frame. Nice, man. The snap, yes. I'm surprised you were able to hear the snap. Usually the noise cancellation just sort of drowns out everything. But yeah, it did. I'm glad you guys heard that because it did indeed have quite a satisfying click. There's a fine line though between a satisfying click and a uh-oh snap. I've learned that the hard way, unfortunately. But yeah, that was certainly a satisfying click and not a snap. Okay, let's get some grease on these guys. I can't wait to get all these mounted onto the frame. That's when it'll really start coming together. Okay, let's start doing this guy. I still need to order more of these drill bits too. I keep like clenching, hoping that I don't strip this one out. But so far, I mean, it's installed a lot of screws, but I need to remind myself to get at least 1 or 2 extra on order, just in case. Okay. When's the next big like printing event going on? Is it September 3D Printopia, or is there something else coming up beforehand? Okay, that seems good. Alrighty, let's make sure we're still spinning nicely. Yeah, I'm really, really pleased with that. Hey, Raj! 3D Printopia last week in September. Got it. Okay. Those axles and differential assemblies are a lot of work. Yeah, they're pretty dang involved, Tuxedo. I mean, I've built things with 3D printers for sure, don't get me wrong, but like, so much of what I've built has been printer kits, and so it's definitely a different beast, that's for sure. But I can't wait to have this thing done. I mean, I'm enjoying the build, don't get me wrong. It's not like, oh, let's rush, but I am very much so looking forward to having this guy done and actually getting some enjoyment out of driving it around, hopefully, if all goes well. Hey, Luis, or Luis. Luis? Luis? I always screw it up. I think it's Luis? I feel like I always mess it up. Okay, this guy is kind of awkward to get aligned. Let's get you right up. Oh, that's all right. Let's just, here, we'll dip this in some grease. Drop it in here. There's enough flex on this piece where I should be able to get the screw in and then get it in line. There we go. Okay, let's leave that like that for now. Get the other side. Okay. Yeah, there's so much like flex. These are just little, if I'm not mistaken, it said these are like little shields to keep, I think, rocks and stuff out. So they're really thin and have quite a bit of play. There we go. I think that's aligned. Dang, this one fly has found me. It does not leave me alone. Come on, here we go. Okay. Just do hand tight on these guys. I'm curious as to what the rest... Oh, you guys can't see. Oh my gosh. Someone's got to yell at me. I'm curious to see what the rest of the build's like once we get beyond this. Like, this is such a big part of the build that I'm curious as to if things go pretty quickly after this, or... Like, I'm curious to know, once these three things are done and assembled onto the frame, like, percentage-wise, how far we are roughly through the build. All right, so next up, we need to grab one of these discs, which... this guy right here. We need to ream this out. Hey, Maker Viking, happy Wednesday. All right, got that, and then we need, oh yeah, these are the M230s, the world's longest baby screws. Where are they? Where are they? Oh, here they are. M230s, yep. 1, 2, and 3. I will try to take my time with these because they definitely generate a lot of heat. So let's slap this on like that, maybe. There we go. This. Just kind of take it slow. Okay. Just gonna kind of round robin. The issue with this part is the screws are so close together that the heat, like even if I just rotate through them, I have a feeling the heat still is transferring to the pockets where the other screws are, because they're so close together. So I'm kind of even want to go a little bit slower. What is a good budget-friendly production printer? I think I need to know more than that. Nice. Like what is your definition of a production printer? What size does it need to be? What materials do you need it to print? I will say that the printers I've been using the most of as of late are, everyone knows I love my Bambu LED printers. You've got the H2C, the H2D, and now the X2D up in my office or studio upstairs. I use those quite a lot. I have been a big fan of the last generation of 2D printers. I think that they're really solid. So like the Max 4 I'm testing out the Plus 5 and then the Q2. All three of those are pretty similar. Just, I mean, there's some subtle differences, but like they're quite similar, with the main difference being like build volume is the primary difference. But those have been great for like a wide range of materials. The Core 1 has been a beast. I've largely been using it for PCCF, but like, boy, is it just churning out parts. Like, I don't think I've had a single failure, and I couldn't tell you how many trays of parts I've just fired off. Like, it's a lot. Tool changer wise, like I've got the U1 and the I've got the U. Someone calling me. Someone is calling me. Let me make sure it's not an emergency or something like that. Hold on. No, spam. Of course it is. I've got the U1 and I've got the Flash Forge. I think it's the Creator 5. I always screw up between Creator and 5. And like, I like those machines, but I don't know that I would lean on them enough as like production printers. I think that they're solid. I think that they can produce good parts, but I don't know that I have them in my mind as like long-term production printers yet. I'm happy to be wrong with that statement, but that's my thoughts. So, yeah, that's basically what I'm using right now. I mean, if you're going to more expensive stuff, like when I worked at Matter Hackers, we sold a bunch of like Raise 3D printers. We sold BCN 3D. We sold Ultimakers. But like, I feel like, with the exception of maybe Raise 3D, which is still making like current modern printers, I felt like the other guys were not amazing for the price. Yeah. So, oops. I certainly would say that cost is not everything in terms of reliability, because I have seen expensive printers that on paper look like they'd be really good not be super solid or reliable, and I've seen, you know, fairly inexpensive printers that have really surprised me. So I'm printing a lot of drain pans. What material and what size are they generally? Like, what's the biggest you need? Oh, I totally missed. Sorry, there's a fly buzzing and I'm multitasking, and everyone knows here I can't do those things. Rob, thank you so much for the gifted memberships, man. Thank you. 400XY is the question. I'd say Cheaty. Yeah, I think that the Cheaty Max 4 is a really solid machine. I'm probably not holding on to mine long term because I just don't have space. It's a huge freaking printer, but out of big printers that need to print advanced materials, it's by far the best experience I'd say I've had. Not saying that like the H2D or the H2C have not also been really solid, but the Max 4 is just bigger. It's just a bigger printer. So yeah, I think that Cheaty has, out of all the manufacturers I've tested, by far been the longest that's really been leaning in the corner of like high temp and abrasive. And while everyone else is still sort of doing that now, they've just got a lot of experience with it. And like, yes, Cheaty's had issues for sure, but I do feel like they've been very receptive to feedback, and in each generation they've really corrected it. And I think, I'm curious to see, because I assume that their next generation is probably going to be some sort of tool changer thing, but I have my doubts on how dialed in it will be, because no company typically nails things the first time. There's always like revisions, but I think that this current generation of Cheaty machines, between the Q2, the Max 4, and the Plus 5, like, is like, this is sort of like peak Cheaty out of what I've tested. They've corrected, the last big issue I had was inconsistent Z offsets, and like, I have not had those issues at all. It doesn't matter the part, like big, small, happy, tall, I don't know, big, small, short, tall, not happy, but it's worked really well. It took them a long time to get here. And I don't, like I said, if they do a tool changer, I don't doubt that there will be some quirks for sure, but with their non-tool changer current generation, I've been pretty damn impressed. So, yeah. I'm printing a lot of drain pen. Okay, so that Shammy likes his Max 4. Yeah, it's like I said, it's solid. It is solid. I think also, like, for a printer that's going to be used for production and like business purposes, there's also other considerations that would be pretty important to me. So things I don't know offhand is what spare parts look like and replacement parts. That is a really important thing. So I would certainly look into that as well. Like obviously your key components of extruder and hot end, those are like your main area where I think your point of failures would be, just due to clogs, jams, material flooding. But I'd also check some of the other stuff as well just to see. And if it were me and I was buying a printer for production purposes, I would probably have a budget set aside just to buy spare parts to have on my shelf in case they're out of stock, they discontinue things. Like I would want to have the parts myself. Obviously you can't account for everything and there might be outlier parts, but that's more the exception than the rule. And the things that you know on a printer do tend to wear and fail, I would want spares of those on my rack. I love my Max Pro. Yeah, it's a really solid printer. Why does it look like this side? It looks like the gap between here is closer than on the other side. I don't know that it is. Let's see. I'm looking at that like that. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm just. I don't know. Like maybe it's my eyes playing tricks on me. I don't know. I think we're moving forward regardless, so. PTG CF, 35 centimeters. Oh, what does that translate to in freedom units? Let's see. So 30, oh, so pretty big parts. So that's, are you saying 350, so 350 millimeters by 250 millimeters? Is that the conversion? It sure looks like it based off what I'm looking at here. That is a pretty big piece. But yeah, I don't think you'd have any issues. I don't think you'd have any issues with the Max 4 printing those. What was the main reason you got into the Venture XL? Space. It took up such a massive part of this single car bay. Like I mean, this is a 3-car garage, but like this single car bay where I'm doing a lot of recording stuff, that I need space for other things. And I had plans for it. I really wanted initially to do index on it, but as time went on and like I'm planning on doing index on the Core 1, I just didn't have much of a, let me change camera. I feel weird being small when I just didn't have much of a use case for it. I think that if I had a printer that was Venture XL size in X and Y, but like the height was like 6 inches, I would have a lot more use for it. Like panels, big Hue Forge things, stuff like that. But like the height associated with it, and also the hardware on it, granted, I didn't go with whatever hot end they included. I can't remember what we installed on it. I think we went with I think it was a High Flow Dragon. I'm pretty sure that's what we went on it. But I have and had my doubts about some of the electronics as far as the controller and the tool head board. And so I was likely going to be swapping that out as is. And it was the space thing. It came down to like, is it worth having it, or is it worth having that space back that I can do stuff with? Once like this stuff's all out of here in the shed and I try to get this more dialed in, it just was too big of a footprint. So there's a guy that's a friend of a friend out here that wanted to print out big prints. I think it was mostly cosplay stuff for his kid. And so he got, I just gave it to him. Like the only thing was that he had to come pick it up in his truck, and I helped him get it off to the bed of his truck. Like I ended up just giving it away to him. But yeah, it just came down to, it was too much machine, and I still felt like it needed a lot of work on my end to get it to a place where I'd feel great about it and using it for projects. So that's really it. Auxiliary drain pan for FCU, floor cooling unit for train is no longer producing them, and I have a client with 450 units. Oh my gosh. Finally catching you live. Been binge watching your streams, your oldest and newest, currently on your Cyborg 0.2 build. Wow, Disco Potato, I like your name. Thank you so much for joining and for watching some of those old streams. Your name is rad. I printed full plates. Max 4 is really interesting price-wise. Yeah. All 110 volts. Yes. Yes, it was all 110. Do you have one? And if you have one, is yours running on 220 then? Yeah, I basically, it was this outlet right here. You guys can see it. I don't know if you guys remember, but I discovered like after we were building it that I couldn't actually plug it into my wall. So this outlet right here, there it is. Yeah, I had to swap it out because I thankfully found out that this garage was wired for, it's like 20 amp circuits. However, the outlet didn't have the opening right there that was required for that specific plug. So I'm glad that I didn't have to. I probably would have had to have hired it out. I generally, as much as I'm sure I could run Romex through my walls and it wouldn't be any more challenging than stuff I've done, I'd rather not. So I'm thankful that all I really had to do was basically pull the receptacle and install a new one. And then I was able to, you know, power it up here. So Maurice with the man, you guys have been membership crazy today. Thank you so much for the support. The 5 Gato memberships. We got Lewis. Hi. Food for me? Oh my goodness. Are the kids sleeping? Oh, it's really quiet. Lewis got one, John got one, Philip got one, Tuxedo got one, Dunkwood got one, and Cagat got one. Oh my god, and potato salad? What a treat. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, thank you. Yummy. I'm gonna, oh man, there's this fly. I want to eat it quick because of the fly. Yeah, we'll do a short hangout story time just so I can eat. Aaron brought half a sandwich and a potato salad. I haven't really eaten much of anything today, so I am going to eat this pretty quickly here. There's also the fly, and I just don't want the fly landing on it. I read that wrong, Tuxedo. Your name popped up in between everybody's. And so I grouped you in. I grouped you in with everybody. That's right. You are a membership. You are a member, not a membership. I think that I maybe thought that it just like tacked an extra month onto the end of your membership, but you're right. That's not what happened here. I'm still trying to get one for Rico's shipment was confiscated. Why? Hey, Jim. Hey, Jim McRobot's in the house. I will eat this within 5 minutes and we'll be back building. I think we're nearly done with this. I basically have to put on this piece and then the one cap piece, and I think that's it, and we're on to the last one. I can't be gifted memberships anyway because I have a branded account. I don't understand why that's the case. Also, do you know what, like, is there a reason you have a branded account? Who knows why with customs? How long has customs had it for? Hey, Clown. Just got my thanks, just got my Polymaker full spectrum model. Nice. No way. Using my winning code from Polymaker. That is so freaking cool. I'm stoked to hear that, Danny. Have you played around with full spectrum at all before, or no? This will be your first time. Oops, God, I just dropped the sandwich in pieces. Or will this be your first time playing around with it? I really want to take another crack at it because the video I did on it, the creator of the project basically said that my tool alignment was not perfect, and he could see that, and that was why some of the colors didn't blend quite as well as they should have. I have a branded account because I made the mistake of changing my account name a few years ago. That's super lame. I stopped building mine today where you start installing the wiring electronics. Question for you. Once I get the third one of these assembled, the axles, How far out until I start doing the wiring and electronics? Because I assume a lot of that has to happen probably before you're putting all the panels on and stuff like that. Is it done? No way, man. The sandwich is done. I had good intentions of getting a lot of progress done between last week and this week, but I didn't have the time. Okay, sandwich is done. Couple bites of potato salad, and we'll be back. Stupid fly. I still want to try out full spectrum on my U1, but not sure what print I need it for yet. It's pretty freaking cool, man. Like, I don't know how much I would use it for, like how much functional use it has. I'm sure there's some applications like, I just don't have that color. I need the color so I can do it. But there's just some really rad models that require a bunch of colors that you can't have, because since you could only do 4 until they release some kind of like a AMS tool changer swapper thing, which is really cool. Yesterday I assembled all 6 wheels by hand. I saw your post, man. That sounds absolutely horrible. You said it was because of noise. What? Like, what? Who are you trying to not wake up? You install the axles and the four-leg suspension, then wiring so you can set the steering and points before wheels. Nice. Okay, cool. Install almost everything to the frame, including the suspension before any electronics. Got it. Some of those snakes and other... I haven't even seen, like, after making that video, I haven't really followed full spectrum that much. I've been just focused on other stuff. So I'm really curious to see what models have been created that take advantage of, like, that many colors. Okay. I am... yeah, put this up here. I'm sure the fly will find it, but whatever. Done with it. Have a sip of water, and then let's get going. Oh, it looks like it looks like I got tomato juice on here. Whoopsies. There we go. Okay, let's get to it. So, nope, that's not. That's, look at my outlet. There we go. Make sure we're in focus. Yep, looks about right. I'm hoping that once I get stuff cleared out of here, I can figure out how to get a ceiling camera mounted again. I have a camera for it. I have like a pretty decent camera for it. Steve and I were looking at sort of like track systems, which would be super cool to be able to have it on a track. I don't think I'd really move it around during live stream, but that way I can position it differently for whatever I'm doing. But I would love to be able to show you guys just like straight down shot. I think that's better in a lot of instances than this. I'm just not sure how I would deal with zoom, because I don't think I'd be able to, it would have to be just probably like a digital zoom. With the OEM top shipping, I'm more excited to see aftermarket tops start to incorporate the electronics and wiring. With the OEM top shipping, I'm more excited to see aftermarket tops. What are you talking about the U1? Full options, it's only 150 euro duct tape, max 4 or bamboo. It really depends, man. It really depends. If you like Bamboo Labs, then I like my Bamboo Lab printers a lot. I don't know that, will the size work? You said you want 350, right? Didn't you say you wanted 350 millimeters? I can't remember. I can't remember what the size is. I know you lose some H2D build volume. Yeah, I mean, if you need 350, I would not go with the Bamboo Lab printer. I'd go with a Max 4. Yeah. Well, oh, you're saying H2S? That one actually might work because it's single. H2S is 340 by 320 by 340. Yeah, no, if you need 350, I'd be going with max 4. I don't like maxing out the build volume. I think that the last, like, you could do it, but I always think that the last few, I don't know, 5 or 10 millimeters on the edge of each plate is, if I'm gonna have a problem, that's where the problem's gonna come from. Yeah, so if it were me, I probably would go with max 4, just given the size that you want. All right, let's go ahead and attach this onto here. I think I already drilled these out. Yeah, I must have. These are way too loose. Okay, let's see if I can get this aligned again. So for this, we are basically eyeballing it because it's a super tight fit. Oh, cow. God, this one's even tighter than the last one. Oh my God, I have concerns about this one. I have more concerns about this one than the first one we did. I've never owned one. Oh, got it. That tomato is from the garden. I thought it was. It was such a good tomato. Very juicy. Yeah, I'm hoping that I can get this to work. There we go. God. Oh my gosh. Is this one so much tighter than the last one? I don't know if the screws are gonna be able to pull this one into place. Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm feeling better about it now. The holes are still aligned. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's as tight as it. Let's see if the screws will pull the rest of the way. This one was brutal. This one was brutal. Okay, I'm keeping my, please everyone keep your fingers crossed for this, the screws are able to pull this part in like it did, excuse me, like it did on the other side. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. Oh, were yours pretty tight on these as well? Yeah, I mentioned it earlier, but like I screwed up. I ran like the little calibration print, but I did it with PETG. Because initially I was planning on printing most of the parts out of that, but then I started printing with PCCF and really liked it, and then started using this for most of the build, and I didn't run the tolerance test for that. And so I don't know how much it would have helped, but the surface friction of the carbon fiber is not doing me any favors with some of these tight tolerances. Oh my God, this fly. Go, there's a sandwich over there. Go, or there's, you know, go to the tray, go to the bed. What are you doing over there, man? Fly is just okay. Will you? I don't know if it'll pull itself in. Come on, baby, please do it. Oh, it did it. Yes, yes. All right. Yeah. Here, hold on. We need a.
That was easy.
Yes. I wasn't sure if it was gonna have enough threads to grab the plastic and pull it in, but it sure looks like it is. All right, let me go ahead and just shove the rest of these screws in. Also, we will open the giveaway soonish here. Maybe like 12 minutes, about our normal time. Regular fly? This is the regular fly. Yeah, the we haven't had it. Last year was awful. There was always like, for the whole summer, like 2 or 3 flies in our house. We could not get rid of them. And this year's, oh, get my ear. This year's been a lot better. But today I was standing in the door here, which was probably my mistake, talking to the electrician, and he was super sweaty from, he'd been working for hours and was like covered in drywall and dirt and stuff. And there was, I don't know, like 6 to 8 flies buzzing on him and then me. And that's how this guy got in the garage. Look at him, he's on my hand. I have a fly spotter over too. My goal was to catch him before the stream started, but he wasn't coming near me, but now he's like, now he won't leave me alone. There's a couple cows that live like right across the street over, and I'm sure that's not helping either. With us having quite a few flies here, I'm sure those cows drawing quite a few. The flies that yeah, his hours are numbered, I guess, more than his days. All right, let's see if we can pull this in now. Okay, let's do this side next. So happy. Oh, that one is not. It's interesting. I don't know what the deal is, but some of the holes in here, like, I don't think I'm going too hard. Like, my grip on this is pretty loose. So once we bottom out, this thing should start spinning like that. But some of them still, when they get to the bottom, they just free spin. Like, they don't grip into the plastic. It could be because maybe it's too much heat from the speed on this. I don't know if it's that or if on some of them, like, maybe based off printing, like, they just have little less, like a little looser tolerances on some of the holes. I really don't know. I don't think it'll be a problem though. I still imagine that like with the plastic on plastic, the force will keep it from wanting to back out the screw. I thought I saw a flying ant yesterday on the porch. It wouldn't surprise me. We've had a lot of moths lately, like some monster moths. Every time I go over to the strawberry bed, there's always a bunch of moths that fly out at me. We've been camping in a travel trailer since the 7th. Ordered the electronics fly spotter yesterday since they finally got on my last nerve. What is that? What is the electronic fly spotter? Does it just look like a regular fly spotter, but it's like a zapper? Or is it something that stays stationary and they just fly into it, kind of like a mosquito trap? Yeah, I've got I'll show you my weapon. Hold on. I've got this guy. Got the extendo reach. Look at that. It goes from small to like, all right. I think this guy's just been in the garage, this fly spotter, for months now in case one gets in here, because they just drive me crazy. Get a regular fly spotter and spot them mid-fly. I'm not very good. I will say that my fly spotting abilities are not fantastic. Aaron has seen me last year, especially with a few where it's like, huh. I don't know what the deal is, but yeah, my like depth perception of where the fly is and where I'm swatting just oftentimes do not align. My friend showed me the Salt Blaster recently. It's the most American way to dual flies. I have been tempted to get one of the Salt Blasters. I can't lie. Like, it seems fun. Just like that. Okay, got it. It's like that, but it zaps as well. That way, if you hit it, but don't happen to hit it up against the wall or something like that, it still takes care of it. The bug salt, flings salt to the bug to kill it. It works very well. I've seen it in action. I might have to do that. Very satisfying when you get one. They're worth it. All right, you guys, hold on. I'm gonna have to add one to my cart. Let's see. I feel like Jackson will want to use it. Let's see. Nope, not in home and kitchen. Let's just go fly Salt Blaster. Oh, these are expensive. This isn't what you guys are talking about, right? Like, this looks like way too legit of a Salt Blaster. Like, this is probably what you're talking about. But yeah, these things look like way too way too much like, hopefully YouTube doesn't flag this for seeing these, but I mean, they're colored and stuff. They look like Nerf guns. The 3.0 bug assault. All right, I'll consider it. It's more of an investment than I thought. I thought it was gonna be like a $10 item, and I'm like, man, $40. They even have a laser attachment for it. That's crazy. I use a bug assault to kill tree ants on the porch. Get the coarse salt too. I had one of those extendable spotters and broke the telescopic handle after like 2 swats. Dude, you must really put some force into it. We've had that one for a while, and I've had pretty good luck with it. Okay, so we did this. Now we have the cat piece, and I think we're basically done. We'll see. Yeah, that's way more legit. I think what I've seen are like knockoffs then. But I've seen some really small ones, and there's no way that they were $40. M216, where are you? There's not that many screw sizes, but I still sometimes yeah, there's one with the well, it's like a laser attachment for it for the for the 3.0. How are flies down in Florida? I'm going to be visiting my brother. Me and Jackson are going to be visiting my brother for like 4 days in November. And I could see him absolutely loving one of those blasters if there's a lot of flies. I sent you their website on Discord. Cool, thank you. I wanted to go with the salt gun, but not looking at having cops show up at the campground. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. How long? Wait, you've been camping since the 7th? That's a long camping trip. How much longer are you camping for? We're done! Yeah! Woohoo! That's for a tuxedo. All right. Nice. All right, on to the last one. Let's move this guy out of the way and just dive right into it. See if we can make some progress, and then I can hopefully wrap this guy up before next week's stream. I will need to print out. I'll definitely need to print out more parts. Okay. So let's get this. Let's get this. Let's get this. Okay. Probably zoom in a little bit. They're kind of smaller pieces. Right about there. I wanted to get, okay, it's the flying alligator in Florida. Yeah, he sent us some photos of some, you know, I think that we found it easiest to install the bearing into this piece first on the other one, so let's try that. He sent me some photos of some baby gators when they first moved out there. They're kind of adorable, I can't lie. Nice, thank you so much. Yeah, smash the like button. I don't know, I'm gonna check to see where we're at. Are we at, let's see, we got 65 viewers, and we have currently got 26 likes. Okay, we can do better than that. Let's start with a goal of 40. 40 likes is our initial target. 40 likes for flying, hit the like button for, what was it, flying alligators? It's not, it's going in, like, not too bad. Is it bottomed out? No, it's not. We're gonna have to use the Nipix. That is too, there we go. That's perfect. Where is the Nipix that we are in front of my face? We had him on Sunday. 2 weeks off work has been great. How awesome. Is it, yeah, you said it's on a campground. Have you guys done much, like, as far as activities around the campground, or has it been mostly just kind of like just lounging on the site? Yeah, we did. I used to camp for a week every summer with my family, and haven't camped in a lot of years. And then we went camping for the first time ever in July. But we just did a Friday through Sunday thing because Aaron had never camped before, and neither had the kids. And it went really well. It was a ton of fun. So there will be many more camping trips, which I'm very excited about because I love camping. Okay, I think that's bottomed out. I'm not convinced it's bottomed out. It's close to being bottomed out. Okay, that has to be, I don't feel comfortable going harder than that. Yeah, we're gonna call that good enough, I think. And then we are going to shove this guy in here like this. Okay, we need some grease. Get some grease. I've been using up this grease like crazy. I mean, I guess it's a good thing. But yeah, I've been going through these grease packets pretty quickly. It's hard to get out the last little bit. Maybe that's enough. Oh, and it's on my finger. TTS level is too low. Text to speech? I don't know if I can, I probably can adjust it, but I think it affects, all the like notifications as well. And I think those get pretty stinking loud, and that might be why I did it. Okay, yeah, this should be plenty for this guy. I think I just shoved a hair into it. Yeah, I sure did. Is that an eyebrow? That might be a me hair. That might be a beard or an eyebrow. I don't know. You guys are gonna catch me in next week's stream with like a hair net on and like a beard net on as I'm building this. Like, huh. Daniel's got that lunchroom vibe going on. All right. I don't know if that is enough. I've been really greasing the crap out of these. Yeah, it's probably enough. Yeah, I think that's plenty actually. Okay. Okay, that one's greased. Let's put this guy right here. Hey Gergman, happy Wednesday. Okay, so we got that one. I think we're doing the same thing again. Yes, but with this piece, which is the U right here. We'll do the same thing we just did, which is get the bearing in first, because the other piece slides in. Get the middle piece, like the middle gear piece, slides in a lot easier than the bearing in the outer housing. So let's get this. Let's move you out of the way a little bit. Let's see if I can first try to just brute force it in. Did definitely go in, but I don't think it went all the way. No, definitely not all the way. So we'll now swap over to this. Keep the little plastic shavings out of the bearing. Is that tall enough? It's pretty close. I think that's gonna work just fine. That felt good. I felt like it went straight in across. Wow, that went in one swoop. It went in perfectly. That is, I will remember this moment. Giveaway time. Yes, we will open up the giveaway. Yeah, let me do that. Where? There's my forms. Link. Shorten URL. One more like. Oh, are we almost at 40? Come on. 2 more likes. 2 more likes. I'm holding it hostage just for 2 likes. We can do it. Then we'll open up the giveaway. Oop, I didn't mean for that to go in the same spot. That's gotta be plenty. Just grease the crap out of it. Sweet! We got 42. Thank you, everybody. All right, yeah. Giveaway is almost posted. There we go. All right, I'm gonna pin it. So the filament giveaway is open. We will do our drawing in approximately 30 minutes here. So if you want to enter in, now is the time. The hostage standoff, yeah, that was quick. I mean, we only needed 2, so we were pretty close. Let's aim for 50 by the time the giveaway happens in 30 minutes. Maybe higher than that, but let's start at 50. 50 is our next target. If we can hit it, we're at 43 likes. Okay, I think that's enough. Yeah, that's probably plenty of grease. I don't know why the focus just... It's probably because I've got the depth of field set pretty shallow. All right, where are we next? We are... So we got these 2... Okay, that's right. Next, we're taking a little triangular piece. It's gonna be right here. 1, 2, 3, and then we need our tiny bearings, which right here. I think this is the last 3 we'll probably be using. I just finished printing most of the Unimog parts on my Core 1 Plus, and it's getting the next update, so I'm ready and waiting. I hope to have it up and running before 3D Printopia. Was there any updates on shipping times in the latest update? With the pretty sure I just had a pretty big update. It was last Thursday on like some upgrades for I think like the Core 1, Core 1L, and the XL line. But I don't know if there was any update regarding like people that ordered an X already. shipping and stuff like that. I didn't look because I don't have an order, so I just kind of skimmed the stuff that was a little more relevant to me. Hey, BBs! All right, so bearings are going in here, and the bearings are all pretty loose, which is intentional. Let's shove this guy in here. This guy in here. Last one. Like that. Okay. Got that in one hand, and then we're dropping that into this side. So we're going. Yes. This guy is not. There we go. Okay. It doesn't say to add more grease. I think I'm gonna add a little bit more grease. Hey, John. They said index upgrade shipping. Oh, sick. Okay, so it is coming soon then. Like really soon. Nice, at least there was an update. Yeah, let's just add a little bit more. The stuff I added down below is I'm sure gonna work its way in, but I'm a little bit paranoid about these gears just because they've got the carbon fiber. Hopefully that's enough and then it'll just work its way in. Let's just drop this on like this. There we go. Fits nice. Fit pretty well. Oh, you know what? Ah, crap. I'm supposed to take off. You know what? I think we're just gonna go for it. I didn't pre-drill this, but I'm pretty sure I forgot to do it on the other side and it worked out okay. No. Yes, I don't want to pre-drill now. Never mind. I don't want to pre-drill anymore. I'm gonna get little carbon fiber shavings all over the grease where the gears are, and that's probably a bigger problem. So let's see if I can just get these in. I think I didn't have them pre-drilled on the other side and everything worked out okay. So let's keep our fingers crossed so that it happens again. Yeah, I just, as much as I've been trying to pre-drill everything, the holes were right next to where the gears sit, and there's just no way that I was going to be able to do that successfully without getting at least some shavings in there. And I think I'd rather take my chances with this than risk having the gears bind up later on once it's all assembled. That's the open differential. Oh, got it. This is, you're saying where basically it can turn one without turning the other based off the least resistance. So the purpose of that is what? Basically to help the axle that is, hold on. Okay, this is, yeah, that's too tight actually. Need to work this in. But the purpose of it, to have it where it goes to the path of least resistance, is just so that way if something, like to prevent the whole system from getting stuck, like if vehicle's going forward, one side's kind of locked up, the other one can still keep moving to get it out and go forward. Is that sort of what the idea is behind it? Let me loosen these a little bit. Okay, spinning a little bit better now. Drivability, so the inner tire is slower than the outer in a turn. So the inner tire is slower than the outer in a turn. Got it. Stops both wheels spinning if one loses grip. What Greenbeard said as well. Got it. So if one loses grip, then... I'm just trying to understand. Because if it... Based off what we saw earlier, the side with the least amount of friction is the one that was spinning. So I would assume that if you're in a situation where one of the tires loses grip, that probably has the least amount of friction. So wouldn't that tire continue to spin? And the one that's on the ground wouldn't spin? When a vehicle goes into a curve, the outer wheel is turning faster than the other. On a car reduces tire wear. I believe you are correct. That's why differentials exist. Oh, got it. Okay, so if one tire, because what you're saying then, like if one tire, let's say one tire was up or something like that, and the other tire was the one that was going, that was on the ground, that one would be getting worn more than this one. So if one is up, that one stays spinning while the other one doesn't, keeping the wear even between both of them. Ever seen a car stuck in the mud? Reason the loose tire spins and the other does not. Yes, but that one wheel can allow you to keep moving, whereas if both start spinning, you're stuck. Got it. If there was no differential, one of the tires would be spinning in a curve. I want to watch a video on it now. I feel like I'm getting it. I do feel like I'm getting it, but I still feel like I'd like to watch. Locking differential. Locking diff would spin them both. On a front axle, it makes it really hard to turn when they are both locked. The wear would be uneven. This is not a locking diff. There's an option for a locking diff. Yeah, I saw that. Let me see if I can find it again to show you. So I think it was when we were building this guy. I think it was towards the beginning of it, actually, before I put that in. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so a locking differential is available. The lock differential puts too much stress on the shafts. The option is highly recommended to print all the shafts in nylon filament. So yeah, you do have an option for a locked differential, but this is not a locked differential. Hold on, I'm trying to get back to where I was. There we are. Okay, this is where we are. So we just did that. Now we're doing this. Okay. Also, for anyone that's just joining in, the giveaway link is open. So if you want to enter in, you can do so. And we will... we'll do the drawing in about 17, 18 minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty cool old school engineering. Yeah, the concept is rad. It's very cool. I mean, I don't know that I've always been interested in gears and the way that they work. Certainly as a kid, I could probably care less, but as I've gotten older and I've gotten just more into, I don't know, mechanical, the way things work, engineering and the way things mechanically work, I've definitely been more interested in it. So it's been part of this, like, especially for me that doesn't have any experience really with any sort of vehicle stuff. Like, it's been really interesting seeing the way the internal pieces go together and all the different gearing components. If you use the locked diff, it's a drift mog. Got it. Because in this, again, in a situation where it's a lock, if you're turning, because what you guys just said, where one of them is turning more or less, there's going to be some sort of binding, I would assume, right? Which is going to cause it both to lock up, and then you're basically turning without any spinning, and it's just a slide motion. Also, Erin texted me a minute ago. I just want to read it. She said... There's a mod someone made that adds servo-controlled locking diffs. That's cool. Wait, does that mean you can choose whether it's a locking diff or not, depending on the positioning of the servo? Basic geometry, the inner tire has less distance to travel. The outer tire, because diameter is larger on the outer part of the curve. Yeah, that's sick. Yeah, it's very cool. They don't do serials for these, right? Like, there's no way of knowing how many of these are actually out there. That, I mean, I know that not everything is serialized, but coming from 3D printing and like serials being such a part of it, it'd be cool. It would be cool to have serials on these, and then being able to print out like a custom license plate that has your serial number. I think it would be cool. Maybe, maybe not, but it sounds rad to me. Hey, Zombie, how's it going? How are you doing? I feel like I haven't seen you in a few weeks. What are you working on? You can run it unlocked for pavement and lock it up when going off-road, deep mud. Cool. Hey, Steven. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, no. That one was skipping a bit. I hope that was just a bolt thing and not that we're starting to wear down our bit. Oh, no. No! I think it might be finally wearing. I think I jinxed it by talking about getting a replacement. Yeah, it's starting to slowly skip. No. I'll definitely have to prioritize ordering a replacement today then. I don't have spares. When I was ordering parts for this build, was kind of in a hurry and forgot to get the bits till last minute, and so I ordered the only kit that I could get here like next day, and it was this. It was either this one or I think I have a second set somewhere, but it's a variety. So like there's none. Yeah, this is the one I got actually. But yeah, there's not, unless there's an Imperial one that will basically fit, which maybe, but I don't know. Time for a CNC to make your own. Yeah, I will order a few for sure. I will definitely order. I won't just get one on this next round. The Overland camper weighs 6.7 kilograms. Just the camper, or yeah, is it just the camper shell that weighs that much? I was on. Oh, nice! I'm working on Cyber Brick Tank. Fun. Lots of parts, but a bit smaller than this build. Is that a new model, and is it an official Cyber Brick model, or is it a community made one? Okay, let's see. We are doing. This goes like that. Let's go ahead and the forklift model kind of broke. I think it was Jackson that broke it. I'm pretty sure. And then I have a truck. The truck I still have. It just needs to get charged. But I have a handful of extra components, like extra boards for that, and Jack loves them. So I'd like to build one. I did see one the other day that was like a full-blown racetrack, and that one looked cool. There's also a train set. I think the train set would be a lot of fun. I'd have to print out a bunch of tracks, and that's kind of my biggest thing is like, I have the printers and the material, but just it's really the time. I can't I need to get more printers in the garage, basically. Because upstairs, since I do a bunch of audio work between Lightburn and YouTube stuff, I have to plan all my printing around audio work because it just picks up the printer sounds. I have yet to find a printer that's quiet enough where it doesn't bug me. And so it's tough to do really long prints and lots of them up there because I constantly have to record audio. I'd love to see a Tinker version or a flatbed with a container. The body's around 18 inches long on the Tink one? That's awesome. Community, I backed it on Maker World a while back. That's sick. So cool. What's Maker World? It's just this website. Okay, yeah. I'm actually curious, and I know this is a very small sample size, but what is your go-to repository for 3D print files? I will say that I probably use Maker World the most, followed by Printables, and really, that's really it, basically. I hardly ever use Things, and Thingiverse, hardly ever use Thingiverse as well. Part of me using Maker World a lot is probably because I have quite a few Bamboo printers, but I also do like, even for the other printers that are not Bamboo Lab but are using like Orca Slicer, I do like to use it more than Printables. Printables in the Maker World. I print a lot of multicolor models and projects. Maker World is set up best for that. Yeah, I agree completely. That's probably me as well. I try to avoid Maker World like the plague. Maker World second. Yeah, Maker World has a lot more stuff for what I'm usually testing. I love looking through the contests. There's some cool stuff there. Printables, Maker World. My primary is Printables, then Things, then Maker World. I prefer Printables. Maker World usually has more models for what I'm looking for. I use Colts 3D for a lot of RC stuff. Yeah, Colts. Funny, I didn't even mention Colts. I guess Colts is where I downloaded this from. But yeah, I've used Colts a few times, but usually it's for paid models. I'll find like a model that's paid that I really want. I had no idea that they had a lot of RC stuff. I assume it's mostly paid stuff, right, RK? Because I feel like that's one of the big incentives of Colts is like, it's just a lot of paid models. I used to use My Mini Factory quite a bit actually as well. I forgot. Is My Mini Factory still a thing? I used to use them. I definitely used them a lot when I was doing like resin printing to test out miniatures and stuff. But I used to do FDM prints off there as well. A lot of RC. Yeah, I figured as much. Colts just feels like the way it's been set up that like you kind of expect to pay for a model on Colts. Landfill from Maker World. Printables for functional stuff. Yeah, I found some pretty cool projects on Maker World. My biggest issues I feel like on Printables, the like homepage, other than the contest, the homepage feels like it's largely been the same stuff forever or very similar stuff. While I feel like every time I check on Maker World, I get different models recommended. Gumroads, yeah, Gumroads is all paid though, right? My Mini Factory is still around. They're ticking a lot of people off though with their decision making for the whole 3D print shop side of things. So I don't know anything about that. I use My Mini Factory to get minis, resin minis. Okay. Yeah, I totally forgot about My Mini Factory, but I used to use it a lot. I've purchased some models on there for sure. I think I already drilled these out, but let me just verify. Yeah, sure, seems like it. Okay, these were what? M220s. Okay. So let's add a bearing. I think they rotate what's on the front page like once a week. Got it. Maybe it's just under like trending then. I don't know where I'm looking that I usually feel like I see the same stuff. Let me actually, while I'm talking about this, let me just pull up printables. Oop, that's not how you spell printables. That's kind of funny. Those are definitely things, these two at least are things I've looked at. That it has it under my search for like the homepage. Yeah, when I go to 3D models, okay, maybe not. These do look different. Maybe it's because I'm going under, no, that is trending. I don't know. I don't know. I felt like for a long time a lot of the models looked very similar to me, but like this looks different. Some of these definitely look different. Huh, this also has some of the stuff I was looking at. Yeah, I don't know then. Maybe it's just because it's geared more towards multicolor printing that it just seems to work better for that. I guess when I'm looking for functional stuff is probably when I look a little bit more on printables, like specifically functional stuff. I know when I'm looking for any sort of like Gridfinity stuff or anything like that, I find myself looking on printables. I mean, I'll check multiple repos just in case, because while most, not all, but like many people do upload across all the different sites, but that's not always the case. So some things might trend for a while on videos being made in social media. Got it. Printables is a lot of favoritism. Yeah, I could see that. I know that, I mean, I know for sure that I've seen complaints about on Maker World that like having to be logged in to download stuff, I think was one thing. And then also that they weren't on top of people like uploading models that weren't theirs or paid models and stuff like that. I could care less about having to log in and download a model. I know that that's, you know, another Bamboo thing where like, I don't mind using their software, but of course, for those that don't, why would they want to log in? And I have no idea when it comes to the models being uploaded that are paid models. So let's see, when you look for new bits, there are some sets which are basically the same body and tip as the Fabrico RC driver, but have a 1/4 inch screwdriver shank to work with electric drivers. Ooh, interesting. See the same body and tip. Do you have a recommendation, Ballistic, like brand wise, or not really? Maker World has plenty of functional things. Yeah, I agree. I print tons of stuff from Maker World that are functional, so I definitely agree with that statement. Are these the right screws? I don't even remember. A couple more minutes on the giveaway, and then we're gonna do the drawing for that. Yeah, I mean, similar to how I cover a bunch of printers on the channel, like I don't really have a dog in the fight. I like having options. And I personally don't care, like whatever you think is the best printer for you, that's the best printer for you. I feel the same way about the repositories and stuff like that as well. I was more just curious to see if there was much of a pattern or not with what people are using. I'll try and find a link. Okay, cool, sounds great. If you can't, no big deal. I'll find something to order, but if you got a recommendation, I'll definitely look at it versus just kind of going with whatever's the top hit. The good thing about both printables and Maker World is that nothing dies there on things. It's 1 week only unless it's exceptional. Yeah, I mean, I liked things a lot back in the day. When I was doing some like pretty basic 3D models, and I was posting them on there, like some, yeah, just like small things. And then also like they were sponsoring a bunch of channels back then, and I really liked my contact. I mean, this was, yeah, it was about 4 when we came to Idaho, so it was probably like 6-ish years ago or so. And then, I don't know, things just changed, like first slowly, then quickly. So I don't not like them, but I just don't find what I'm looking for usually when I go on there. And if I do, it ends up just taking me to a different website, and yeah. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they sold, right? If I remember correctly, like a year or two ago, they sold. Maybe it's been longer than that now, but pretty sure they were acquired by another company. And then, I don't know, after that, I kind of just stopped paying attention. Okay. Curious to see what Snapmaker puts together for repository since they've been saying they were. Oh, have they? They're doing their own website too? I don't love that there's so many websites. Like, I like that there's options, but I don't know. Like, everybody has their flavor of like Bamboo Studio or Orca Slicer. And like, it is what it is, I guess. I've come to terms with it. It's just the way it is. Everybody wants their own thing, even if it's not really their own thing, but it looks like it is. But yeah, I mean, I guess like if most things are being uploaded to all the platforms, then I don't really care. But it is a bummer because like I know that there's definitely things that I'd be missing out on because I just can't possibly look at every single repo every time I'm looking for ideas, you know. So I can pop this bearing up. Maybe not. Come on. Ooh, God, I almost stabbed myself. Let's not end the stream. Let's not end the stream like that. Just trying to get this bearing up ever so slightly because I know that it's not supposed to be like flush. There we go. That's enough where I can probably work it in one way or another once we place it. Sweet. Probably gonna stop it there. I think. So we did that. Lock differential, yeah. Yep. So I think my dream, and my dreams don't always come true, but I think my dream is going to be, if at all possible, to get us, this is actually kind of different than what we've done. It's similar, but it's slightly different. I might try to get us through here or somewhere right around here for next week's stream, but I probably won't. I don't even think I have all these parts printed, so it's probably gonna require some printing of stuff first, so we'll see. I'll do what I can, and I'm sure I won't get done as much as I think I'd like to, but I'll try to make some progress so that way we're making, you know, making a good stride. And then once I start doing the stream series with Steve, I'll probably end up doing some more of the UNIMOG on my own, and then we'll kind of circle back to it once I'm done with the build series with Steve. It's very likely going to be what ends up happening. Yegi for the win. Oh my gosh. It comes down to every flavor of Orca seems to need their own 3MF for printer settings specific to their printer. Yeah, because 3MF, like, although it's supposed to be a standard, I think in the way it was initially created, it was intended to be a standard. Everyone's basically using the .3MF extension, but they're not using like the standard file format. So it's, that's my understanding, is it's basically a .3MF, but it's not a .3MF. There's not really a standard anybody's following. Has there been anything difficult with the build so far? I would say not really. The biggest issue I've ran into is tolerance related things, and I'm blaming that on myself. Instructions have been fantastic. I did run into an issue off stream. I don't think it's visible. It's not visible. It was, I can show you. I don't know if this will save anybody or if it's just a me thing, but there's a part. This is what we're doing currently. So it would have been in the last section. That's what we're currently doing. So it would have been before I put the cover on. I think here. Yes. So this piece right here, there's like one of them that is slightly thicker than the other. And I didn't realize that. I don't think you end up using it until, when do you end up using it? I don't know when you end up using it, but basically when I went to install this inside of this housing, I was having a really difficult time getting everything to sit flushly. sit flush, and I couldn't figure it out. I thought it was a me thing. I was like wiggling the bearings back and forth, and I just couldn't figure it out. And then when I got to, okay, so yeah, it would have been on the next part. So when I got to, where is it? No, we just did that today. Where the heck is the part that I'm trying to? Oh, okay, yes. So this is the wider one. So this is the same piece right here as the pieces that are basically here and here. But you can see, okay, so you can see it. Nope, you can't because my dang face is in the way. Hold on. Boop, there we go. So this piece right here is the same basic geometry as this guy, but this one's slightly thicker. And when I was assembling these, I just grabbed the piece that looked the same, not realizing that they weren't the exact width, this guy versus these two. And so that was my issue. And I didn't actually realize it when I did this. I installed that. But when I was assembling this, all my screws were popping out pretty far, and that's what had me scratching my head, where I'm like, something is off. Like, nothing has been weird about this build up until this point. And that's when I happened to see that, hey, one of these on mine is thicker than the other side, while in the pictures, they all look identical, and that's when I put 2 and 2. So that was the only thing where, like, I don't even know if it needs a call out. Maybe I'm the only person that will run into that issue, but I don't think a call out would have hurt. Make sure you're using the skinny, I don't know what the exact text should be. But that's literally the only thing I ran into where I was stumped for a moment. Everything else, like the instructions are very, very clear, and yeah, it's been fun. It's been a really fun build so far. So, so much searching for followers. What kills me is family and friends sending TikToks or reels and asking, "Can you print this for me?" Oh gosh. What are you building with, Steve? We're building the Antithesis Aether Mark 1.1, which is basically a printer where the bed moves in X and Y and the tool head only moves in Z. It is a crazy, beefy printer that is very tiny, very, very tiny. So, all right, I'm giving this as a 1 minute heads up for the giveaway. If you want to enter into the Playmaker giveaway, I'm gonna pull the link that's pinned in chat in 1 minute here. So in regards to your question, Damien, your question is, how do you keep your room clean? Every time I get in a project, it turns into a tornado mess, and I clean it and the cycle repeats. You are describing my life. That is exactly how I do things. I don't have a good solution. Bins are incredible. Bins are your best friend by far. That way, if you need to scoop everything quickly into a place, but you know that all the things you were using will be in one place, that is very helpful. But that is very much so me. The reason why so we initially were building down here, I think because we were building the Venture, which couldn't fit through the door of the house, and we had to build in here. The reason why I've kept things down here is it allows me to keep everything a tornado mess while we're working on a printer or project over many, many weeks or months, while having upstairs, because before I would stream and record in the same area, and I basically, sorry, my nose is itchy, I would do the live stream, dump everything into a bin, take everything out for all the video stuff for the week, take everything back into a bin, take everything back out live stream. It was kind of a nightmare, like having to constantly do that. So for me, I a lot of times do keep things in a pretty messy state. I will say that, like, right now it's not a good example because I do have everything scattered and I can't really preach anything if I'm not practicing it, but like stuff like this where I was able to sort of organize all the parts I would need for the next handful of steps neatly, right, in a little compartment, and then putting all the spare pieces that are currently scattered everywhere, because I think I was looking for something, back in the bag, like that lets you keep things neat. But I will say that, like, my brain when I'm working on a project, even if it looks chaotic and messy, usually I know exactly, not always, but usually I know exactly where like everything's at when it's messy. And then if I start cleaning up things, I am like, where's that thing? I can't find it. So I don't have an exact answer. I think bins are super helpful, organizational trays, so that way, like, you can still have your kind of chaotic project, but try to contain it where there's some resemblance of order to it. Those are like my two things. But yeah, I don't have my lot of my life and the way I do things is what I would consider organized chaos. Organized is a loose term. It's pretty chaotic. So I wish I had a better answer, but I don't. That's something that I am still constantly trying to find solutions for. So yeah, I posted a couple of links in the live stream channel. Awesome, thank you so much. I will take a look at it. I gotta actually run you can jack and land in to jump and then gymnastics. So, okay, I'm officially pulling the link for the giveaway. We will remove that and then unpin it. So if you're entering it in, you've got 60 seconds. But yeah, we will be doing UNIMOG next week as well because I'm waiting on the final parts from PCBWay. And then I don't know, next week I'll talk to Steve and figure out, once I have the parts in, like I'll get everything shipped to him and I'll try to lock in when we can start the stream. His schedule's a lot busier than mine. I'm gonna be gone, God only knows. I'm gonna be gone like the week of September 11th. I think I fly out the 10th and I come back on the 13th. So we wouldn't be able to stream that Sunday. But I know Steve's got a bunch of stuff coming up. So I'll let you go, I'll let you know. Yeah, so mess and clean, yeah. Formax with or without polar cooler. So I have the polar cooler nice. I haven't really used it much. I don't really see much of a need for it. Their main thing that I saw was like you can use a heated chamber with like PLA to prevent warping. And I would imagine if you did a tensile test, you'd get probably a better interlayer adhesion with the chamber heater, and it would prevent heat creep basically. But I don't know how much you need that, especially with the materials that you're printing. And you can also add it after. So yeah. Damn, my allergies are like all of a sudden just nose. Okay, let's do this giveaway. Also, I'm going to apologize in advance. I know that it was somebody's birthday and they told me at the beginning of the stream, and I had promised them that they would be able to pick how many times we shuffle today. I wonder if I can quickly scrub to the beginning of the stream's chat. Can I do that? Yes, it was Rob. Rob, right? Yeah, I can't go that far back. I'm pretty sure. I think it was you, Rob. I'm like 99% sure it was you. Sorry, it's been 2 hours and I've talked about a bunch of the things and I'm like, 19 shuffles for my birthday. I won't ask you to shuffle my age. You might get carpal tunnel. All right, let's do this. So yeah, for anyone that hasn't been here for one of our giveaways, they are provided by Polymaker. They are global. The giveaway is different depending on where you live in the world, but you're either getting a gift card. I think it's a $35 US gift card, or okay, I'm screwing things up. Is it a spool of filament up to $35 in value? You're either getting a gift card or you get to pick a spool of filament off their website. I think the spool of filament is up to $35 US in value. I'm slightly off on some of those things, but that's close to what is happening. The winner will get an email from me within 24 hours that will have a form as well as a unique code that you'll need. And I think that's basically it. So yeah, thank you to Polymaker. If you need to pick up filament and you're looking for an easy way to support the channel, there's a link in the description. It doesn't cost anything extra. The filament doesn't go up in cost when you click on the link, but if you click on the link before buying filament or anything off their website, a percentage of it does go back to me and the channel. And it's, I say it every week, but certainly not required. But if you're already going to be buying filament, it's definitely appreciated and it really does help. So let us do this. You said 19 shuffles is what we're doing. So let's do that. We got no music. Let's hold on. We got to put, let's do Roll Me in Stardust. Chicken noodle soup. Hold on, we need the right song for this. This feels right. All right, this feels right. 19 shuffles. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Have you been trying Polymaker's newer blends they've been putting out lately? Which one specifically, Dougal? The only one I'm really aware of is the high temp PLA, but I tried their other stuff and like their previous stuff, and the big issue was that like the temperature was largely the Vicant temperature. Vicant temperature. And I think that they said their new blend has higher tensile strength, which is rad. I'm really hoping to build a tensile tester. Oh, my picture's gone. I'm hoping to build a tensile tester this year so I can test those things out. Where is this what we want? Yeah, okay. Okay, good luck to each and every one of you. In 3, 2, 1, here we go. Happy birthday, Rob. Da Vinci 1.0, or not 1.0. I always see it as 1.0, but Da Vinci 1.0, you are our winner. Congratulations. See if I can go like this. Air horn. Cheers. Congratulations, Da Vinci. I don't know if you were in chat, but you were the first message today when I popped in today. So congratulations to you. And yeah, thank you everybody for entering. Once again, happiest of birthdays, Rob. I hope you have a wonderful... Oh, Da Vinci's there. I hope you have a wonderful birthday full of hopefully good food. If you drink tasty beverages, some sort of tasty beverage, and something sweet if you're into sweets. I know I am. So happy birthday. Congrats, I missed it by 2. Hey, that was close. But yeah, thank you everybody. Today was a fun stream. I was really tired getting into it just because, like I said, I was up super early because the electricians were coming. And we made some good progress, and I will try to make more progress before next week's stream. Also, we had a ridiculous amount of gifted memberships and renewed memberships today, so thank you to everybody. Like I said, it really does help out and is appreciated. So I know I say thank you when it comes in, but I want to make sure that I say it again. So thank you everybody for all the continued support, and just everybody for hanging. I felt like there was a lot of like good conversation today and fun things to talk about and all that stuff. So yeah, and Aaron fed me. Yeah, thank you, Aaron, for the sandwich. That definitely was a nice little pick-me-up. So game plan, as I said earlier, is that there will be a video this weekend, but because this week has been a weird one, it will probably be a Sunday release over Saturday unless something goes terribly wrong, and then there won't be a video. But my goal is to get my head down, and between now and Sunday do a lot of video work to get this video out. There's a lot of... It's kind of interesting, like the channel kind of goes in seasons, or it's not the channel, it's more like the companies, where there won't be a whole lot of product to review for a while, which is fine because I have this list of like projects I'd like to do, or like materials I want to cover, or slicer features and stuff like that. But then all of a sudden it's like, there has to be something. I assume there's something with like markets and time of year, and they do all this research on it, and I just don't see the pattern exactly. Obviously when it gets close to Christmas time, but there's a bunch of different things that I'm going to be testing and reviewing, which I'm excited about and excited to see how they are and show you guys. But there's also some projects that I'd like to do. So yeah, we'll see how the next couple months goes here. But okay, I'm going to stop rambling now. I appreciate you all. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will hopefully see you guys next week, same time, same place. All right, everybody, take care. Cheers.